The RBA is expected to hike rates by 50 basis points. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's have a look at this article discussing the RBA's predicted hike to interest rates. Hasn't happened yet, knock wood. So if we have a look here, RBA to hike rates by 50 basis points in October. Peak rate pushes higher, according to a Reuters poll. And if we're having a look, for those of you playing at home, you can see the cash rate has jumped up to 2.35%. We were sitting at 0.1% for so long I didn't bother updating the chart. But now, well, I'm being put to work. Every month I'm having to update it, guys. We jump over to this other screen here. We can see the RBA rate tracker as of the 30th of September, 79% predicting an increase to 2.85%. Let's jump to trading economics and see if they have where is it? We want Australia. See what they're predicting for interest rates. Interest rate. Oh, look at that. Look at that, guys. So the forecast and consensus is both to 2.85 and 2.85 for trading economics and the consensus. And if we jump here, well, this is what the economists are saying too in the Reuters poll. So Australia's central bank will hike interest rates by another half point on Tuesday and increase borrowing costs further than previously thought in its most aggressive tightening cycle since the 1990s to arrest red-hot inflation, a Reuters poll showed. At the August meeting, the Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Philip Lowe, tempered guidance on further rate hikes as they were approaching the estimated neutral level of 2.5%, a level that neither stimulates nor restricts economic activity. But with the US Federal Reserve raising rates by 75 basis points last week and expected to take borrowing costs higher than previously expected, many central banks are likely to follow suit to prevent their currencies from weakening further against the US dollar. Let's jump back over to trading economics. Let's have a look at, where's the currency data? Forex. Australian, 63.9. There you go, 63 cents. And she's been crashing, everyone. Now, the good thing about the currency going lower is commodities that are exported, well, you make more money for those. International students that come over here get more value for their dollar. International house buyers get more value for their dollar. International tourists that come here get more value for their dollar. But, well, all of the goods that we import into this country become much more expensive, everyone. And that's a big deal that we need to consider here. I'm just trying to load something up to paint that picture. And while that happens, we'll keep going through this article. You've got to realize our cost of living will be impacted. And wait a minute, here we go. This is the Observatory from Economic Complexity, and we can have a look here. I want to jump to imports. Come on. We'll look at the historic data from 2020, and you can see, come on, imports. Well, there you go. Cars, refined petroleum, broadcasting equipment, computer equipment. How many businesses in Australia rely on computers, upgrade their systems? All of that's imported. All of that will get more expensive. So all of this that's imported, let's see China. Let's see what we're mainly importing from them. There you go. Nearly 30% of everything imported into Australia is coming from China. That'll get more expensive. Everything from the US will definitely get more expensive, and that will flow through to our cost of living, everyone. Okay, so just keep that in mind with the dollar going lower. But it's good for our exporters, guys. And hey, those international students, they get more value for their money coming here. That's good for real estate too. So, but then again, cost of construction, because of imported materials, is going to go up as well. So it's going to affect housing supply. And that's, well, it depends on how you look at it, either good or bad for real estate. If you want property to be more affordable, it's bad. If you want property to stay up and have higher support levels, it's good. So the Australian dollar, down over 12% for the year, touched its lowest level in 2 years on Wednesday. Over a 70% majority of economists, 21 to 29, in the September 26th to 29th Reuters poll predicted the RBA would hike its cash rate by half a point to 2.85 at its October 4th meeting. The remaining 8 forecast a smaller 25 basis point hike. So all of them predicted a hike. The only difference is how much it would be. I mean, what do you reckon, guys? You know what? I'm going to, as I record this right now, I will put a poll up on my channel, and we will ask you viewers what you think the hike is. I'm going to do that right now. Come on, we'll go to the community. So we'll jump over here. How high? Forgive me for spelling mistake. Oh, come on, I got caps lock on. How high will the RBA hike the cash rate? Or, yeah, we'll do hike. Rate target on the 4th. What do you reckon, everyone? We'll say, we'll do a text poll. 0%. Oh, we'll go 0%. Oh, no, we'll do negative 0.25. You know, you never know. They might decrease it. We'll give people the option. 0%. Maybe 0.15%. 0.25. You know what? No, I'll make that 0.25. 0.5. And we'll add another one higher. Okay. And we will come back to the end of this video when we see if there's any responses, guys. And as you're watching it, jump on the community tab and let us know, because I'll come back to this once we see what the RBA actually does. So, if realized, that would mark the 5th successive 50 basis point rise. Wow. Matching the fastest hiking cycle since 94, when rates went from 4.75 to 7.5%. That's a big deal, guys. A lot of global interest rate expectations are being set in the US, said Tony Morris, head of Australian and New Zealand economics at Bank of America. If the Reserve Bank doesn't maintain the current pace, then further currency weakness will feed through into a much faster pace of domestic inflation. Although the median forecast showed rates going up another 50 basis points next quarter to a peak of 3.35%, there was a 5-way split among economists over where it would be at end of 2022. While 11 of 27 economists held the median view, one said 3.5% and two said 3.6%. Among the remaining 13 economists, 10 said rates would end the year at 3.1% and 3 at 2.85%. I mean, look at this. Look at the spread in it, okay? Economics isn't a hard science, guys. It's the dismal science, isn't it? And it's a highly emergent, complex system. So making any predictions is fraught with huge variables. And hey, the government can just flip over the table and go, I'm not playing by these rules anymore, and intervene and screw with the whole market. Only 4 of 29 economists predicted the cash rate at 3.35 by end of 2022 in an August poll, when the peak rate was expected to be 3.1%. So, with inflation at a 21-year high of 6.1%, more than twice the RBA's target rate of 2 to 3%, the forecast to stay above that until early 2024, peak interest rates could rise up again. Indeed, 11 of 25, or 44%. I mean, they're trying to anyway. Okay, if they had 100 analysis, it'd be a different number. Expected rates to go higher than the current expected peak of 3.35%. Well, we've got 25 analysts here. I'm just refreshing my poll. Let's see if we've got. Oh, we haven't quite got that number yet. In the 2 minutes I've been recording, we've only got 10. Come on, guys. Let's get more people in my poll as I'm recording this video than they've got here. I know you're not all economists, but still. The survey showed inflation averaging 7% this quarter and then peaking at 7.5% in the next. Across 2023, it was predicted an average of 4.5 and then a fall to 2.7 in 24. A new official monthly measure of Australian consumer prices on Thursday showed annual inflation eased slightly to 6.8% in August from 7% in July. Our expectation is conditional. And here it is. All these predictions are always conditional. We've got the RBA now predicting a 40% fall in housing, but it's a conditional prediction, and it's the worst scenario they're painting. We saw it last time, and the media just jumped on it. They jumped on it on these predictions of significant house price falls, and what happened? The market went nuts. Maybe people are learning not to trust the RBA now with regards to not raising rates. Our expectation is conditional on several factors such as medium-term inflation expectations remaining well anchored, a sustainable pickup in wage growth, and easing global inflationary pressures, said Jamson Coombs, economist at St. George Bank. If upside risks to inflation materialise, the RBA board may need to go beyond our expectations for the terminal rate. Australia's economic growth was predicted to average 4% this year and then half to 2% in 2023 and 24. There you go. So first let's jump over here. I'll refresh the poll and we'll see how we're going before we have a talk about this. Okay, we have 19 votes, so we haven't quite reached the same sample size as the economists surveyed by Reuters, but there you go. Okay, I've updated it. So 5% of the 19 votes, and it's only been 4 minutes, so please go and vote after you watch this. 5% said 0% increase. This is going to be confusing. 11% said 0.25% increase. 58% are going with 0.5, and 26% are going with higher. 0% said nothing. Come on, let me update it. Let's get a few more. Oh, we're 21. 21. Yep. Yes. So, guys, check 22. 22. Come on. We only need 2 more, and I'm not voting on it because then I'll sway the results. But you can see here the majority of people on this sample of HeiseSays voters are saying 0.5, 50 basis point increase. Okay, 23, we only need 1 more. I don't think it's not going to throw it, so we're going to have 0.5% there. Oh, there we go. Now we've got a greater sample size than the Reuters poll. 54% say 0.5. There you go. So let's have a talk about this guy. The interesting thing is how this is going to materialize. We're already seeing banks increase interest rates. We've seen Bank of Queensland lift up their rates by 50 basis points. And for most people, it's not going to be an issue. A significant number either have mortgages that they've had for some time, and they've built up significant equity and they've got buffers, or they've locked in. How many of you locked in your rates? Maybe that's another poll I'll ask. What you should do is you need to, you know your low rates are a fantasy. That's not real. That's pretend rates. Pretend. It's artificially low money. So you need to sit down and do the sums. You can do it all in Excel. Maybe I'll do a little short on video on how to calculate that. You can do the sums on what your repayment rate will be, or what the delta change in your repayment rate will be once rates are higher. Once you jump off your low sub 2% fixed rate to a higher variable. And then take that money now, and if you're not already putting extra off your mortgage, which sometimes you can't, because if you're fixed, you're limited to how much extra you can throw on it, put it in another account and say that's your return to reality fund. So that means you are psychologically prepared, even if you test it out for a month or a couple of months, just to see how much your budget's going to be affected. So you understand and plan for what you're going to have to do. Maybe you're going to have to cut back some living expenses. Maybe you need to get a bit more extra work. Maybe, get rid of some subscriptions. Or, just fast a couple of days every month to save that money. Anyway, guys, let's see how it materializes. You know what? We'll do one more check over here on the poll before we cut over. There you go. 41. There you go. And we have a comment. Let's see the first comment. A 1% rate hike. Jordan reckons that's a ballsy claim. I can't see him doing 1%. That's pretty big. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Check out my other channels, HeiseBim and HeiseSays International, for other content I discuss. If you're a fan and want to support us, you can financially on YouTube or Patreon using any of our referral links: Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, buying our merch, or calling us if you need an architect, everyone. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and enjoy the public holiday tomorrow.